Hey, what's up, YouTube? So today I'm going to be talking about Teofimo Lopez and really what's next for this young fighter. I was able to put together a list of questions that I had for the public, and because they're very general, but a lot of people may have better insight than what I do on this subject. I'm going to go ahead and start off with my first one. Who's next? As a fighter for Teofimo Lopez, with this upset. Where does he go from here? What fighter? It's interesting to see who they would be looking at fighting. Second, does he recover mentally from this? Given the way that he took the loss, and the way that he was acting prior or after his win to Lomachenko. I don't. He got very arrogant. It definitely went to his head. The guy looked like he thought he was an emperor at some point. And I think I saw it on some TV, on some YouTube channels, where people were saying that he was emulating Floyd in the sense that he was going to be obnoxious and self-proclaiming himself, and that would give him more views, more type of like the haters, and people would watch him to lose, and he would blow up the same way Floyd did. And a lot of fighters are looking at that blueprint, because if you think about it, it doesn't matter who you fight and how good they are. People are going to watch anyways, because I think the people have already done tests on, and then I see it with my own family around me. People call me up and say, hey man, you want to come over? I'm making a party, having beers, and it's just entertaining to put on a fight. Oh, it doesn't matter who it is. I mean, it really is going to be entertaining. I mean, it's something's free, someone's paying for it, and they're entertaining, and they're just gonna buy a fight. And all the boxing, or the boxers have to do, or whoever's hosting these the promotional guys, they put a fight on in these certain dates, and man, I mean, we're gonna watch it. It's the truth. You know what I mean? They don't have to fight the best people, because and then especially if you're a likable person, like Teofimo, he did the flip. He was just a very entertaining person. He got very annoying after a while, though, after his win to Lomachenko, but I could see why people would just watch him. And certain people are going to attract other people, and we all know, we all see common ground, find common ground with people of our own color, races, or culture. So a Hispanic fighter might fight a Hispanic. I mean, a Hispanic person might follow a Hispanic person, Cuban a Cuban. And then if we're American and we don't have any care for that, we're just gonna follow whoever's good. I'm born in America, Mexican, but I really follow anyone. I could really have a preference towards a black fighter or a Filipino fighter like Manny Pacquiao. It really just doesn't matter. So moving on to the next question, does he change management in terms of his father? That's a good question. We all saw how leading up to the fight, there was like some type of a press conference where they were taking photos of Teofimo, and during that time his father went over to the left side of the ring where Cambosa's father was at, and there was an altercation. I believe there was a punch, but I'm not sure. I couldn't confirm it. There's a YouTube video out there stating that Teofimo Sr. gets punched by Cambosa Sr. After that, Teofimo's father complained about getting punched to the staff at the event, and I went over and interrupted Teofimo and told him, hey man, you better knock this guy out. I'm not kidding. You better take him out first round. The press conference too, not the press conference, what was it? Yeah, where they both, I think it's a press conference. Um, the same type of energy where he was telling his son, "You have to kick this guy's ass." Like he wasn't asking him. We already know it's his job. Teofimo's thinking, or the whole point of the fight is, I'm gonna win. That's what I'm in here for, to win this fight. But the added pressure from his father, um, if he does make that decision, I wouldn't be surprised any bit. And I think that I know that was a huge thing for Teofimo. That whole first round was him getting dropped was based off of the fact that the added pressure he had to finish him off in that first round, and that kind of set the tone for the rest of the fight. So moving on to the next question. Do the four horsemen give Teofimo a chance? So this is a very interesting question. The four horsemen being Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Gervonta, and Gervonta, who else? And I guess Lomachenko. I keep forgetting Lomachenko's name. I'm gonna put his name over here, Loma. So this is interesting because they wanted to fight him because of his belts. But I don't know if anybody wanted to fight him. It looks like the only one that was calling him out was Devin Haney. Gervonta, I don't think, wanted to fight him, and Lomachenko would have, but he's just so small, man. I saw the replay and I saw Lomachenko winning the fight, but I think Loma's just so small and Teofimo's so big. And then the other guys that are at Teofimo's height, they're a little bit taller, are actually David Haney, Gervonta, and Gervonta's on the smaller side, and Ryan Garcia. And Ryan Garcia doesn't want to fight, but now that Kambosos won, he smelled blood and he said, "I want to fight this guy." I don't know if the four horsemen give him a chance because there's no reward right now in terms of the four horsemen giving Teofimo a shot. What do they accomplish? They're going to be fighting a guy that lost to Kambosos, and Kambosos is undefeated, so they would want to fight Kambosos. As funny as that may seem, and since Kambosos is not a heavy puncher, everyone's going to want to fight him because everyone's scared to get knocked out. They don't want to be posterized, and that would hurt their image moving forward as an attraction or a pay-per-view attraction, because that's what everybody's trying to become. They're all at the stage where they're padding their resumes and really not trying to fight each other, except for David Haney. But they've all been they're all acting a bit like divas in a sense. They have this entitlement, you can see. But I think the guy that's kind of not, you don't see him as a diva too much, is Devin Haney. It looks like he actually is hungry. He's calling out names. He wants to make fights. Gervonta Tank Davis, I think he's being managed. I don't think he's a diva. Well, let me take that back. I don't think he's a diva. Ryan Garcia, I think there's been a lot of talk about, him not needing to. I think he's so successful as and his social media platform that he can just pick and choose so early in his career. He just already has followers, but they'll only stick around as so long. You know what I mean? Let's see. Moving on to the next question: does he move up in weight to 140? Y'all guys let me know. I've been reading or hearing that it's been hard for him to make weight at 135, and he should probably be moving up to 140 pretty soon. We don't know how true that is. He does look like a naturally a little bit bigger guy. Well, he's not. Well, Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, they're all taller than him. He's a little stocky, but he's also really young. I don't really see if he needs to move up to 140 yet. If he does, he would be doing it. I think he kind of does because Do any of these guys give him a shot? I don't think so. There's no reason for it. I don't think they give him a shot. Well, it doesn't work out to their advantage, to any of the four horsemen, or five now, because now you have Cambosis in there. I don't know. You guys let me know. You guys might be more educated on this than I am. Now, this loss, is this considered, has this considered Teofimo as exposed? I don't know. You guys let me know. I want to hear what you guys have to say. I say yes, because previously, I think Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis and not Lomachenko, but Gervonta and Garcia, they didn't know how to gauge him yet, and didn't know if they wanted to take that next decision up without being sure. And I think that they may be looking at Cambosis as a lower level fighter, and this is an insult to them if they don't have. It really is. This is an insult to Gervonta Tank Davis, because right now Cambosis is over Gervonta, and in terms of accomplishments, I'm not saying who's better. I'm talking about accomplishments, guys. And the pressure is on Gervonta and Haney and Ryan. Not really Haney, because you can tell Haney's going to be fighting that type of opposition very, very soon. He actually wants it, but maybe Ryan Garcia, maybe those guys. So yeah, they should be fighting someone. I think that this is going to mean that the other four horsemen are going to have to be forced to fight someone of meaning in Cambosis, or beat Cambosis, or they're going to want to fight Teofimo now, or they won't, because he's meaningless now. I think they'll kind of zone him out, and then I'm kind of confused about that one, if they would or wouldn't. The next question is, what caliber fight does Teofimo need to come back? I'm not sure. Obviously, the four or five horsemen, but I'm not sure. I'm really confused about that. I could see why. I don't know if they're gonna smell blood and want to fight him now, just to put him on the resume and just kind of get him out of there. I think Ryan Garcia may want to, or anybody without a title may want to do that to get notoriety. It's kind of crazy, because that's what they should do. They won't, because they're going to want to fight the person with the belts, and the person with the belts is going to want to fight someone else that elevates them. The guy at the top always wants big reward, right? And no one wants to fight a low risk, low reward, high risk, low reward. So we're really gonna see who's the guy that steps up and makes boxing interesting at this point. Cambosis has done an amazing job at doing that. Does Teofimo get treated like? My next question was, does Teofimo get the treatment that he gave others, meaning that he isolated all of the other guys? He didn't want to fight anyone, didn't want to give anyone the shot at the belts that he had, right? He was supposedly undisputed, except for one belt. I forget which one it was. But Cambosis isn't going to do that, but I doubt Devin Haney wants to fight him anymore. And Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis are the only ones that I believe that are going to have the need to fight him in terms of notoriety, or if they sit down with their advisors and say, hey man, after this fight, I could see the blueprint to beat him. Let's go over there and let's beat him and put him under our resume, and we can own that. It'd be interesting to see if they make that decision. I think a lot of people will. They'll say, okay, I'm comfortable. I've seen enough. Yeah, I think I can go in there and I can beat this guy. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. And then this is going to be being pushed by Teofimo as well, because he's going to need a big name aside from Lomachenko to get in here. Lomachenko has no interest in fighting Teofimo now. I don't think so, at least. Next question is, what do you guys think about boxers fighting the same level of competition opposed to fighting cherry picking and losing to a cherry pick? This is a prime example, although I don't know if Kambosos was a mandatory. I believe I read somewhere or heard on a video. But it would have definitely have looked better for Teofimo to have lost against Devin Haney, Gervonta Tank Davis, or even Ryan Garcia, or even Josh Taylor. Not to Kambosos. So this is where cherry picking goes wrong, or not cherry picking, but not choosing the same level of opposition. Now looking back at the order of where does this put the other boxers, the four horsemen, in order? So now we have Kambosos at 1. And then we probably have Devin Haney at 2. And maybe I don't even know what order. I'm gonna stop because I don't know what order. There is no order. I think just Kambosos, Devin Haney at 2, and then the other guys get a range. However, but the only way to actually start rating them and putting them in order is if they fight each other. So I don't even want to waste my time doing that. Because the truth is I don't know. There's the eye test that we kind of gauge things on, and we can see how that goes. But yeah, man, let me know what you guys think. There's a lot of questions out there in terms of what happens next in this division. Hopefully some of these guys start fighting each other. Looks like Gervonta Tank Davis. Let's see what happens with this Mexican Mike Tyson kid. He's that could be a cherry pick gone wrong too for Tank. A lot of these up and coming fighters, we don't know how to gauge them yet because they've really been unknown, and I think the four horsemen are being over glorified because they haven't fought enough opposition. So we're immediately putting them up in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 categories, and they're not fighting anyone, and so they're becoming stagnant. And now you have unrecognized opposition. Unrecognized is a very good word because we have a guy that's very capable of holding position in Kambosos, and since we're American and we're not watching this guy, he just creeped up and surprised us. And so who else is out there that we're not watching? Because our networks are only marketing American fighters, and there's over marketing going on. Prime example of these four horsemen are over marketed. So it's actually good that some of these other foreign countries are coming in and making the they need to fight each other, because what happened to Ryan Garcia is going to happen to them with someone else that they haven't studied. They're studying for each other and they're holding off for each other, and they shouldn't wait for each other, because some other guy that's going to come in is going to take their belts and really expose them when they're holding off and waiting for the big mega fight. They're waiting to fight each other, and they're willing to take as long as Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao did to fight each other. They really don't have that much time. I think fighters should stop trying to emulate Floyd's blueprint, and you can see how that's happening, where they win belts and then they cherry pick their way into at the out of their career, and they feel like that's gonna be the way to go. That's what Teofimo Lopez was doing. He just thought that, man, I'm just gonna be able to kind of hold on to this things, make a lot of videos, become annoying, keep saying I make my own moves, I'm the boss, and ride into the sunset, and maybe fight once every year and a half. Fight a I don't know when he was looking to fight someone of importance. It looked like not anytime soon. If he would have won this Cambosos fight, he probably wouldn't have fought to the next 8 months, a year, something like that. I don't know. But I think this is good for boxing. I think everyone's wants Cambosos because he's not a super hard hitter. He's going to be a decision type guy, and we'll see. It's going to be interesting because we're going to see what Teofimo has to do to become relevant again. He's going to have to make a very big decision, and it's going to be interesting to see if all of these other guys are even willing to give him the spotlight, or be in the same ring with him after the way that they treated him, or after all of the arrogance. We'll just have to wait and see. But thanks for watching. Please subscribe so I can make more videos, and make sure to leave some comments in terms of what type of material y'all want me to talk about, and leave your comments below, whether they're nice or mean. Don't really care. It's your point of view, you know what I mean? They're all opinions and they all matter. So I'll see you on the next one, guys.